Once upon a time, in a small town, there was a boy named Leo. Leo had a big dream. He wanted to speak English fluently, but there was one problem. Leo was terrible at English. Every time he tried to speak, he got nervous. His words didn't come out right. People laughed when he made mistakes, and that made him feel embarrassed. He thought, maybe I'm just not good at learning languages. But one day, something changed. Leo saw a video of a man who learned 5 languages. The man said, anyone can learn a language if they practice every day. Leo thought, maybe I can do it too. And so his journey began. Leo didn't know where to start. He didn't have English-speaking friends, and he had never traveled to an English-speaking country. Then he remembered the advice from the video. Listen first. Your brain will learn naturally. So Leo started listening to English every day. At first, it was very difficult. The words sounded too fast, and he couldn't understand anything. But he didn't stop. Every morning he played an English podcast while eating breakfast. He listened to English songs, even if he didn't understand the lyrics. He watched movies with English subtitles. After 1 month, something amazing happened. He started recognizing words. Hey, I know that word, he thought. Leo learned an important lesson. Even if I don't understand everything, my brain is learning. Leo knew that listening was not enough. He had to start speaking, but he was afraid. What if I make mistakes, he thought. Then he remembered something his teacher once said. Making mistakes means you are learning. So Leo made a decision. He would speak English every day, no matter what. At first, he talked to himself. He described his day in English. I'm eating breakfast. I'm going to school. I feel happy today. Then he started recording himself speaking. His voice sounded strange at first, but he kept going. After 2 months, he had more confidence. He found an online language exchange group and started speaking with real people. His first conversation was a disaster. He forgot words, got nervous, and couldn't finish his sentences. But instead of giving up, he laughed and said, I'm still learning. The person he was talking to smiled and said, That's okay. You were doing great. Leo felt proud. He learned another lesson. Nobody is perfect at first. The important thing is to keep trying. Leo realized that he needed more vocabulary. He wanted to understand more words and express himself better, so he started reading in English. But there was a problem. Books were too difficult for him. Instead of giving up, he changed his strategy. He started reading children's books. They had simple words and short sentences. Every time he saw a new word, he wrote it down. He didn't memorize words one by one. Instead, he learned them inside sentences. For example, instead of learning the word excited alone, he learned, I am excited to learn English. This way, he remembered words naturally. After 3 months, he moved on to reading short stories. Then, he started reading news articles. His vocabulary was growing every day. Leo learned another important lesson. Words make sense when you see them in real life, not when you memorize them from a list. One day, something incredible happened. Leo was walking in the park when he saw a beautiful sunset. Normally, he would think in his native language, but this time his brain said, Wow, the sky looks amazing. He stopped walking. Did I just think in English? He whispered to himself. That was the moment Leo realized he was becoming fluent. Thinking in English was the final step. From that day on, He tried to think in English as much as possible. When he looked at an object, he thought of the English word. When he felt something, he described it in English in his mind. The more he practiced, the faster he became. 1 year after starting his journey, Leo decided to test himself. He joined a live conversation class with native English speakers. He was nervous, but he reminded himself, "I have practiced every day. I am ready." When the teacher asked, "Tell us about yourself," Leo took a deep breath and started speaking. To his surprise, the words came naturally. He made some mistakes, but he didn't panic. He laughed, corrected himself, and kept going. When the conversation ended, the teacher smiled and said, "Leo, your English is really good. How long have you been learning?" Leo smiled and said, "Just 1 year." Everyone was shocked. Leo felt proud. He realized that all his hard work had paid off. Looking back, Leo understood what made him successful. It wasn't magic. It wasn't talent. It was consistency. He listened every day. He spoke every day. He read every day. He thought in English every day. And most importantly, he never gave up. Leo's story teaches us an important lesson. Anyone can learn English. You just have to practice every day and never stop believing in yourself. If you want to be like Leo, follow his steps. 1. Listen to English every day. Even if you don't understand, your brain is learning. Speak without fear. Mistakes are part of the journey. 3. Read in English. Learn words and sentences, not from lists. 4. Think in English. Describe what you see and feel in English, and never give up. Consistency is the key to fluency. Thank you for practicing with me today. Keep learning, keep improving, and one day you will tell your own success story just like Leo. See you in the next lesson.